Hello everybody, we are Brigade of Beans, a diagnosed dissociative identity disorder system, and this is an interview with a gatekeeper. My name is Charles, I age slide between 20 and 90 years old, I use he, him pronouns, and I am a gatekeeper, a guardian, and a caretaker within our system. I'm going to mainly focus on the gatekeeper role, for the exception of when I am asked about the other roles that I perform. So when I am describing how I fulfill my role, what I like about it, what I dislike, I will be speaking specifically about being a gatekeeper. I fulfill my role internally by helping to organize different alters into different areas of the inner world. I help control the access that different alters have to each other, and I also help with the management of memories that different alters hold. I can also assist with integration and fusion, as I'm able to help alters collect their memories together and collect their essences together and help them mesh together into one. Although that is not my area of expertise, and we have another gatekeeper that focuses solely on that. I can read the minds of alters internally, and I am able to access their thoughts and their memories, so that if they are having memories that are too overwhelming for them to hold, I can reach inside their essence as an alter, remove that memory and take it somewhere else. Maybe putting it in a fragment, or maybe giving it to another alter who has the capacity to be able to handle that memory. I'm able to temporarily remove memories from an alter or the system entirely and hold them myself where no one else is able to be aware of that knowledge, but this only really lasts a couple of hours, maybe a couple of days, and is not a long-standing thing. Whilst I'm not able to control who is in front, I am able to somewhat influence what alters memories and emotions are around front and around the fronting area of the headspace. I can help take alters who are in crisis. I can help take memories or information that is too distressing to know about and take it further and further back into the headspace so that it's not easily accessed, and that it is a lot harder to trigger those alters or that information to front. I help put barriers in place to ensure that the system is not triggered in ways that would then compromise us and put us in unsafe situations. I feel that there is a stereotype that gatekeepers are unemotional, detached, and uncaring, that we simply exist to control the system, and that is not true at all. I care very, very deeply about our system. I actively care for several alters directly, as well as also just caring about the system in general. I do what I do to make sure that the system can thrive. I do what I do not just to ensure bare minimum survival and function, but also that the system can enjoy life. By decreasing the awareness of trauma memories, by keeping alters in distress further away from front, that means that the system collectively can find joy and find passion, and that is vital to our safety. But I'm not just discarding the alters that I take away from front. I make sure that they are in places where there are other alters to support them, where they are in spaces where they can feel safe, and where they are in spaces where they can act out their urges without it damaging the safety of the system, and making sure that there are safety measures in place that then protect them as best that I can. But I'm not all controlling, and I'm not all knowing, and sometimes things slip through the cracks, and I just have to accept that, because I am just one alter in our brain, and I would never wish to control anyone else in our brain, because taking away autonomy from other alters never, ever has gone well in my experience. Control is something that I argue a lot with other gatekeepers about, because other gatekeepers in our system do wish to control the system. They do wish to ensure that they function in a way that the gatekeeper deems is perfect, and that is just unsustainable, and I have to basically be a middleman and a negotiator to make sure that these gatekeepers aren't then also decreasing the, I'm not sure of the word, but basically making sure that these gatekeepers don't just frighten the system into submission. The next question asks what roles I have aside from gatekeeper, and as I mentioned at the start of this video, I am both a guardian and a caretaker. In our system, guardian is used to mean a subtype of gatekeeper, where you help watch over a specific grouping of alters. So I specifically watch over the alters in our forward fronting system, in our alters that are the most active in our daily life. That is the group that I specifically am the guardian of. And then on top of that, I'm also a caretaker. I care for a couple of children in our system, one of who is another gatekeeper, who will be making her own video at some point in the near future. Her name is Ellie. There is not much difference between the three roles that I hold. A lot of it comes down to the semantics of definitions, and also I just feel as if I could fit those three terms, and so I use those three terms. But they all go hand in hand, they're all linked together, and there is not really that much difference in how I fulfill those roles. Something that I like about being a gatekeeper is I like being able to provide a sense of safety for the system. I like being able to ease their discomfort. I like being able to make life easier by removing distressing memories and keeping front as safe and stable as I can. But something I dislike about it is the amount of work I am constantly doing. I don't often front because it is very, very demanding for me internally, and I often have to manage multiple things and juggle multiple things at the same time, as well as negotiating with parts and making sure that we are actually doing something that benefits the whole system and doesn't just benefit what one or two alters think is right for the whole system. I have always known I'm a gatekeeper since I split in 2015. I split as a gatekeeper. I split with the knowledge and the ability to keep memories away from front. The system was not collectively aware it was a system yet, but I have always been aware that I am an alter since I split. And part of my job back then was ensuring that the host had no idea that we were a system, and to keeping those memories and to keeping the true reality of what we were experiencing entirely hidden from them. The final question that I am asked is, if I could be any other role in the system, what would it be? And I think that I would quite happily be a ANP, so an apparently normal part, one unaffected by trauma, one who is responsible for daily living, daily life, to just get out there and get things done. I would love to be unaware of the true depth of what we've gone through, I would very much like to be unaware of what I am aware of, but I am aware and I take that in my stride, and I acknowledge how much of a privilege it is to be able to help the system in the way that I do and provide for the system in the way that I do and care for them as deeply as I do. But it is not an easy job, it is not a light job, and it is not one that I would wish on any other altar. I hope that answered your questions about what it is like for me to be a gatekeeper. There are other gatekeepers in our system who do different things. We will be making at least one other part about being a gatekeeper, because Ellie really wants to make a video about how she fulfills the role as a gatekeeper, because it is different to how I fulfill my role as a gatekeeper. I hope that you guys are enjoying this little mini-series. We are always welcome to feedback, comments, content suggestions. We are going to be aiming to post weekly for the rest of 2024. I'm not sure if that will continue into 2025. We're going to see how well we feel at the end of it, whether we can maintain this level of content or if we wish to take a step back and post more infrequently. I hope that you're all taking care of yourselves. Stay hydrated, sated, and caffeinated, and we will see you in the next video.